Meanwhile, in Michigan, House Democrats blaming the Snyder administration for removing officers from prison guard towers. They say that was a contributing factor to that prison escape on Super Bowl Sunday, if you remember. Asked if that was a budgetary decision and a bad one, the governor wouldn't answer that, said, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Said the guard towers have been fully manned for a number of years, and we're going through all the analysis. We're going to have a look at that. And, there'd been a long time that the towers hadn't been manned and there hadn't been an escape. So that's what the governor is saying anyway. Meanwhile, Senator Judy Emmons, who's been on the program with us before, state senator, Republican from Sheridan, thinks it's time to cancel the contract with Aramark, the food company. This has brought national scorn to Michigan because sometimes the food isn't there. Sometimes there were maggots in the food. Apparently, sometimes the workers at Aramark were having sex with the inmates inside coolers and passing drugs back and forth, as we understand it. And the good senator is on the other end of our AT&T line right this second. Thank you for being available.
Good morning, Michael Patrick.
Some people are saying, so what? We don't really care if the prisoners eat food with maggots or they have mac and cheese instead of French fries and so forth. But this is a serious matter, and it's brought national embarrassment to Michigan. What happened and what should happen?
It is a serious matter, and whether you are concerned about what is consumed within the food system in the correction system, food is an important part of the day in those institutions, and the folks that are there to protect us and make sure order stays calm are the ones that we're putting at risk, and that's my concern, as well as the quality of the care and the product. But still, these folks go in there every day, and they do a great service for our communities and our state, and corrections officers sometimes don't get the credit they deserve. So this is a situation where it's putting them at risk.
Did these sorts of things go on before Aramark got the contract this year? I mean, was it the privatization of the food service, and was that designed to save the state money?
I would believe it probably was. It went through the appropriations process, and, there were concerns about the costs. And in talking with folks who worked for the food service industry prior to Aramark, they will tell you that, yes, there were ways that could be saved and conserved. And there was, some type of program where you needed to come to some savings within that food service industry. So, yes, it needed to be addressed. I don't know if we've selected the best solution to that problem.
Meaning the best company or the best way to go about it?
I don't know. I think, if you're going to bid out a process like this, you want to make sure that you're bidding everybody is bidding on exactly the same proposal. And I was not part of that, so I don't know what kind of RFP went out or who all bid on it. But there's indications that the proposals were not equal, or some people misbid, perhaps didn't understand what they were supposed to be providing. So either, and probably the best thing would be to rebid, but then again, allow those folks that were in the food service industry within corrections to bid as well.
Do you think the Aramark contract should be canceled? If it's
at this point,
possible.
I don't know how much more you tolerate at this point. It seems to be a headline every other day. So great concerns about the folks that are coming in, and great concerns about the safety.
I'll circle back again if I can. Did these sorts of things happen, if before the food service was privatized in the prisons?
I can't imagine that these things didn't happen. The question becomes, inappropriate behavior. How much? What we're seeing and what we're hearing about now, it seems to be very rampant. Was it rampant before? No, I don't believe it was.
Why do you think that it would be more rampant? I guess because the people that were hired to come in by Aramark and do that and weren't used to being in that kind of environment?
I would think that would be one factor. And it requires a great deal of training to go into corrections. You have to know the psychology and the the patterns of behavior, that type of thing. And I'm not sure, maybe these folks did not quite get the type of training they needed.
Well, I guess, as I understand it, Aramark provides food for schools and food for baseball parks and stadiums and so forth, but prison's a completely different matter.
It is. It's a whole different type of population, I guess you could say.
What's the most egregious offense in your mind that the Aramark employees have perpetrated?
Well, I don't know that there's one in particular. I guess my greatest concern is when you put all these things together, it does put our staff at risk, and I get very concerned about that. These are people that live in my communities, and they've been loyal to this correction system, and I'm concerned for them and their families.
Okay, thank you very much for the chat this morning. We sure appreciate it, and we'll keep in touch when we find out. I guess from what I understand, the governor's office said they'll make a decision by the end of the month.
I'm hopeful. I can't imagine waiting much longer would be of any benefit.
All right.